Hi, this is Sally Flashberger from the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities, and it's another Living Well Wednesday. We're excited to be here again. Today we're going to be talking about the Self-Determination Conference, which is coming up in October. And we're lucky to have Fil Clissa from the board. She is the organizer extraordinaire for the Self-Determination Conference. And then we're going to talk with Desi. She is a self-advocate who has attended the conference many times, and she's going to be one of the keynote speakers. So we're going to start off with some fun and a really fun song. I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin.
Yeah,
so, Sally, before we turn it over to Caitlin, I guess I'm going to take my binoculars out because I actually see a birthday girl on here. So I think everybody should know it's Sally's birthday, everyone. So please put a birthday wish in the chat, and we'll get on with the show now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the Peter Lighty video, but Sally, right now I don't see us live on Facebook, so I just wanted to let you know that I'm not seeing it, but I'll go ahead and play the video, and we'll make sure people on the Facebook have the link to it. All right, I am going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go.
Coming together enthusiastically. This time around it's virtually. We can't get together at the Kalahari, but won't you still come with me? We know the pandemic brought some gloom, so this year's conference is moving to Zoom. It'll still be fun, we'll even have chat rooms. And hey, registration is free. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. We're having the conference virtually, brought to us again by BPPDD. Won't you still come with me? There's gonna be a party, a virtual dance, so come on along and give it a chance. On Zoom you can be in your pajama pants, and remember, the whole thing is free. Ooh-wee, ooh. A whole lot of people wanna be with you, see old friends and meet some new. We all wanna be with you, have a great conference with you, together apart with you.
Yay! Well, I can never get enough of seeing Peter sing that song. Even though the words have changed this year, it's always still in my head. It's always the self-determination song. So welcome, everybody. I'm glad you can join us. I know a lot of people have lots of questions about the conference because we're going to do it a little differently this year. As you know, the conference is virtual. It's October 26th through the 28th. And we just wanted to go over some of the features of the conference because we're going virtually, just to show you how to register, how things might look during the conference. We have some highlights and we have Desi here. So the first thing that we're going to do is talk about registration, and Sally's going to pull up the registration form. It is free this year, and we can't mention that enough. And so registration is pretty straightforward and easy. We do need to get all of your information so that we can send you conference updates, the links to the sessions and the keynotes for the conference. And here we go. So it's very simple. You'll see this when you go to the link. The link is on the BPPD web page, and if you've signed up for action alerts, you should have gotten an alert with the links already in them. So you just hit the register now button, and it'll take you to a form that asks for your name and address and email address. It's really important that you include those elements in your registration so that we can, one, send you a conference kit. So everybody that registers will get a conference kit, and that'll have a program and some goodies in there. We won't share everything with you today, but so that's really important to give us your address. and phone number, a text so that we can text you if you would like some text messages as reminders, and an email address so that we can send you all of the links. Another way to access both the registration and the conference when the time comes is through the QR code. So that is a little code that you'll see on your program and in other places online where you can easily get right to the information that you need. And Caitlin's going to show you a video that we did last year. So it has 2019 conference information on it, but it's about the QR code. So we're going to just share that with you so that you know how to use one more piece of technology to help you navigate the conference.
Are you going to the Self-Determination Conference this year? I am, and I hope you are too. This year's conference is all about technology and innovation. If you go on this website, you will find out everything you need to know about the conference. There's another way to find out information. If you have a Save the Date card and a smartphone, here's what you do. Look for the code on the Save the Date card. It's called a QR code. Open the camera on your phone. Point the phone at the code. Your phone will automatically scan the code. A link will pop up. Tap the link and you'll be taken to the latest information about the Self-Determination Conference. That's all there is to it. The latest information is only a tap away. QR codes are used everywhere. You may see them when you are shopping, waiting for a bus, or at a museum. You will learn about technology like this at this year's conference. See you at the Self-Determination Conference.
Yeah, so that was Ashley Matthey that hosted that segment of YouTube channel. And thank goodness that last year we focused all on technology. So hopefully people had learned some things last year that they can now use at this year's conference. I wanted to talk a little bit about technology because that is a concern for all of us these days. With the pandemic, most people are working from home and doing things remotely. And so with the conference, you will need to have some technology available to you. A laptop, a desktop computer, an iPad, a smartphone or a smart device will help you. You know, if you're looking at a conference for 2.5 days, it's gonna be tough to do it on a smartphone, but it can be done and we'll make it accessible for everybody. But now is the time to think about what your needs are in order to get prepared for the conference. So if you don't have technology at home and you do have in your IRIS or care management plan to attend the conference for training, now is the time to talk to your care manager or IRIS consultant to see whether or not you are able to get set up with a laptop or a smartphone or an iPad now, because if you wait till closer to the conference, it may not be possible to get it. But that's one option for you. If it's not in your plan and you need to find other ways to find technology, take a look in your own community. There might be lending libraries that might be available to you. There's also, you know, ask friends and family, do you have an extra laptop or iPad that I can borrow for a couple of days? Or maybe go over to someone's house if you feel that it's safe enough to do that and watch together. So those are a couple of ways that you can find technology and get set up for the conference. If you are still struggling, we do have a number on our brochure. And Sally, do you want to just pull up the brochure so that we can show people? In the brochure, there's information about the conference. There's a timeline. There's you know, information about sessions and keynotes. But there's also a place where it talks about technology. And if you need help we have people that are available to help. The conference every year, we contract with Promote Loco to help do some of the technical stuff that helps the conference run smoothly. And so the good folks at Promote Loco will be there to help you and kind of problem solve with you if you need that. So we really want everybody to be able to participate to the maximum. So yeah. Okay.
So Phil, are you gonna do any, and maybe you were gonna get to this, are you gonna do any practice sessions, or did we talk about that? Okay.
Yes, in fact, so leading up to the conference, so starting probably the beginning of October, we will have some Zoom sessions where you can get on and we can sort of practice things. We can go over the schedule. I can answer questions, learn how to use, excuse me, how to raise your hand. If you see on our Zoom meeting, we have our names on here. If you don't know how to do that, we'll help you figure that out. We'll just go through whatever kind of questions people have just to practice. So that's, that's one thing we'll be doing leading up to the conference. For our presenters, we've already had trainings with our presenters, and we'll continue to have that throughout the summer and leading up to the conference as well. Doing a presentation over Zoom is not the same as being in person with someone. So we wanted to make sure that they knew how to use the technology to be able to, pull up polls and ask people questions, do all sorts of things, put people in break rooms, all those kinds of things. So we're working with our presenters to do that as well. And the folks at the Department of Health Services, the technology guys, as I call them, have been wonderful helping us figure all of that out as well. One other way that might be possible for people to participate is through watch parties. We do have a few watch parties lined up, and when you register, you are able to pick one if there's one that's near you. When we started thinking about having a virtual conference, it was at the very beginning of this pandemic in March, and we really thought that we were being proactive by doing a virtual conference, but also we thought that we would be able to be in a place where watch parties would be possible with smaller groups of people. I'm not so sure right now that that's true. We will continue to monitor what DHS and the Department of Health Services and the CDC tell us and guide us to whether or not those will be we'll be able to have those watch parties. But watch parties would be a way for you to gather with a group of people. Somebody would be in charge of the technology, and we would provide lunch and some other activities throughout the event. So stay tuned on that. But if you are interested in one and there's one nearby, you do have to register for it. So when you get to registration, make sure you mark the one that you want to attend.
There is a question whether there will be translation, and then also are the presentations all going to be live or are some pre-recorded?
Most of the presentations will be live. We'll do some pre-recording for the keynotes because both days the keynotes have multiple people and multiple events embedded into them. So we're doing some remote shooting and things like that. So most of that will be recorded, not all, but the sessions will be live, and they, for the most part, will be recorded as well. So people will be able to see other sessions later on, that evening or, a month from the conference. So, yeah. So I have Desi here.
Wait, I have another question.
So okay, sorry.
1 second. Can you talk about any of the other, like, are there going to be vendors? What's going to happen during breakouts? Kind of like some of the same things that would happen in the real conference. How are you going to do that in this conference?
Sure. Do you want to do that first, or before I introduce Desi?
Yeah, let's do that because somebody asked that question.
Okay, that sounds good. So yeah, so anybody who's gone to the conference knows that it's a highly interactive conference. And as much information as you get in the sessions, you get lots of benefits from being out of the sessions as well. There's lots of vendors, there's lots of exhibitors. We're gonna have all of that still, and we'll have games. So, so let me just run through the schedule a little bit. So usually the first event is the Monday night kickoff. That's always a fun event. And this year we're gonna do a night market. So we are gonna have all of our micro vendors online, live, and they're gonna share with you a little bit about their business, about the art or the craft that they do. And you know, you'll be able to purchase items. We'll have an online store presence so you can purchase throughout the conference. And during the event, during Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, if you purchase items from the vendors, you will get free shipping, only for those 3 days, up to $10 of free shipping for each person. So that's an added bonus. And I think the vendors will have, you know, special, conference specials going on throughout the event as well. So we'll have that. And then, as you know, we always have networking breaks, and those are usually 30 minutes long. This time we're going to have them 45 minutes long to kind of help combat, you know, some of the Zoom fatigue, and just, you know, so people can get up and stretch. But there's also lots of activities that people can enjoy during that time as well. We'll have our micro vendors there, so you can again go and shop. We'll have exhibitors there. They will have, each of them will have a Zoom room set up so you can go in and out and visit and talk and ask questions. They're going to have some fun things going on in their Zoom room, including some drawings for prizes. We're going to have a bingo game that you can participate in as you're going through all of the vendors. We'll have another room set up for the YouTube channel. So many of you have seen some of the YouTube channel videos. We are going to continue to record during this time. You can participate in a YouTube video. It's also a way for us to get footage for our infamous wrap-up video, which is always fun. So we're still going to have the wrap-up video. And in addition to that, we're going to have a couple of other hangout rooms. So those are going to be topical. They're going to be, we're going to have one day we'll have, or one networking break, we may have the students from Edgewood College. We have a caregiver cafe one time. So we have a variety of different things. We have some health, a health corner where you can ask questions about COVID or anything concerning you know, health questions about the pandemic. So there's lots of things going on during those networking breaks. It is the People First 20th anniversary celebration this year. So we are going to have, at the end of Tuesday, we're going to have a dance party. So we have DJ Joe, who is going to be coming to us through Facebook. And we're just going to end that day with some fun dancing and music and just having a good time. We also have some after hours things going on this year. So there is a movie on both Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and we're going to have hangout rooms. So the hangout rooms for that night is really a free-for-all. It's anybody can come on, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, you can see your old friends and make some new ones, and so it's just a time for people to chill and just hang out with each other and have some fun. So that's, I think I've covered most of the highlights. We're going to have the Die Hard Awards, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, so I'll save that for later. Did I answer the question, Sally?
Yes, absolutely. It sounds just as incredible as the in-person. So it's going to be great. And I think, you know, lots of people will be able to access it. We may have more people just because sometimes people can't travel and all of that. So it's It's going to be very interesting. But I think we'll turn it over to Desi now and hear from her. Desi's going to talk about her being a keynote and just why she's excited about the conference. So Desi, unmute yourself and take it over.
I'm excited about how different it's gonna be, even though it's not in person. And I'm gonna be a keynote, and yeah.
Can you give us a little snippet of what you're maybe going to talk about in your keynote?
My mental health journey, and how that's affected me positively.
That's great. That'll be a great presentation for everyone. So how many times have you attended the Self-Determination Conference? Do you know?
I think like this is my 5th or 6th year.
That's a lot. What are your favorite things about the conference?
The sessions and the meeting people, and being in an environment, like a community that people are like you, or they understand you, like it's a community of understanding. And it's always hard to leave that, because not the whole world isn't like that.
Yeah, so do you think maybe you'll meet some new people because it'll be virtual?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good opportunity for people who've never attended, and people like you, that you can go in the break rooms and kind of get to know them and tell them what's so special about the Self-Determination Conference, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you doing any other presentations besides the keynote, or just the keynote?
Just the keynote.
All right, that's great. Anything else you might want to tell people?
No, I'm good.
All right, thanks a lot, Desi. I'm going to turn it back over to Phil to talk about the Die Hard Award.
So we want to tell people to register, to make sure they register so that you can get that kit, and that kit will help you navigate the conference a lot better too, and some fun things in there. So the Die Hard Award, it's always been a highlight of lunch. We have fun trying to guess who the Die Hard recipients are. It's always a surprise to everyone, and we kind of like having a little fun with that. So this year, we still are having the awards, and we're not exactly sure how all it's going to work, but if you think about, we do plan to surprise the Die Hard recipients. So, so those recipients will get a surprise from us one way or another. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I think, you know, to think about, if everyone could think about who the diehards are in their life, I think that you should nominate them for this award. You know, a diehard is someone who goes above and beyond the call of duty, of friendship, of, you know, relationships. It's someone who's there for you above and beyond what you might typically expect. And particularly during these last nearly 6 months, you know, think about the people who have, you know, really been champions and helped you or helped others through this crisis. So, you know, I think this is a good time to think about and celebrate the people who have really made an impact on our lives in the disability community and personally in your own life. So please think about that and nominate someone.
So I did pop open the, where on the website you can find that Die Hard nomination paper, award,
Yeah.
the Die Hard award nomination. And it just links it to a Word document. So just so you know, and the due date is September 15th. So just important to get that done and get that in. Any other, I think Shannon and I are going to take some liberties and talk a little bit about what Living Well is going to do.
I was just going to say, we do have some presenters online, so maybe they could talk about some of those.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so so the Living Well grant, which this is Living Well Wednesday, we have been working on, we're going to be doing 2 different presentations. Myself and Ashley, and I don't know if Ashley's on today. We're going to be presenting on our new COVID toolkit, and it's a stay healthy, safe, and connected toolkit. And so we're going to be having a session on the toolkit, just informing people about it, looking at what they can do to, we have some fillable forms on staying healthy, safe, and connected. So Ashley and I are going to present on that and walk through the toolkit. So that's one of the sessions. And I don't know what day it is. I know it's at 10:45. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe Phil will look that up. And then Shannon, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're presenting on?
Yeah, so I'll be focusing in on the Living Well's Self-Advocate Leader Safe and Free curriculum, particularly around the abuse awareness and protective behaviors piece of that. And I'll be presenting with Nathaniel Lentz. He's a self-advocate leader with the Living Well Project. And again, like Sally, I don't have my calendar up in front of me, so I don't know what time the session is, but be sure to join us because it'll be a really great session.
So both of yours are, oh, I'm sorry. Both of yours are at 10:45. Shannon, yours is on Tuesday, and Sally, yours is on Wednesday.
Okay,
that's great. Yeah.
And also, in addition, just to say that there's so many other presentations, and I'll be in a few others as well. I'm going to be presenting on some employment-related matters with Lynn Breedlove and Jason Enders, you know, kind of employment during COVID-19. And then also with Molly Cooney, she's going to be doing a couple of sessions, and I'll be joining her for one on self-directed employment and some tools that we have for self-advocates and families around self-directed employment. So
I think one of the great things about a virtual conference, and because we had one earlier this year, is you really can pick and choose what you want to go to. And you know, when you go to a conference and you're sitting there and you're like, maybe this wasn't the right section, you can't just get up and leave. And I hate to say that, but that sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I would have gone to that other one. So there is that opportunity here sometimes when you're like, maybe that wasn't the right choice, I'm going to try another one. So there's just so much flexibility, and I think it's going to be great. We know that DHS will, the Department of Health Services, will put together a really nice way for everyone to navigate to the different Zoom meetings, and it will be really simple, and you know, I think people will really enjoy it. Phil, do you have any final thoughts? Or
yeah, well, and to your point, Sally, I think, you know, people will be able to see several of the sessions because they can watch them later at their leisure. That's something that we haven't been able to offer in terms of technology before. You know, I think, you know, Zoom has opened up a whole new world to us in terms of what we are able to do. People have asked for years, why aren't you recording all of the sessions? And we just didn't have the capacity to do that. Now we do with Zoom, and, you know, so I think that this may change the conference moving forward. Not that we don't want to have in-person conference, but we also have new technology that we can enhance those experiences as well. So that's an important thing for us to remember moving forward too.
That's great. So maybe just finish up with the deadline. So the deadline to register is?
Deadline to register is October 1st. And that is, again, because we want to get those kits out to people in time for them to participate in the conference. You'll get hard copies of the program and other materials. And then we'll also send you the links to the conference activities the week before the conference, so that you can just click on them and go into the different rooms and participate in the different activities. So this is all new to all of us as we're developing it. I'm sure that you know, we'll have some tweaks that we need to make, and you know, we're going to go with it. I will tell you that before the conference, there will be lots of several tutorials, meaning there'll be a lot of how-to guides that will be posted so that you can learn how to do different elements of the conference, including for those of you that are interested in continuing education credits. There's a way of doing that for online learning, and I want to make sure that you all know how to do that. You have do that ahead of time. You know, there will be a helpline, both a phone helpline and a Zoom room that you can go to help ask questions and get help with, you know, whatever you're having issues with, whether you can't get your Zoom up or you can't get unmuted or you don't know where you're supposed to go next. There'll be somebody there all the time that can help you through the conference. So I just wanted to let people know that. Remember to register. Remember it's free. Remember to ask, you know, tell your friends and family, no matter where they are, because they can join at any point from any place that they are in the world. And we need all of you to have this conference be as successful as it's been in the past years. So looking forward to seeing everyone.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on and spending a Living Well Wednesday with us. So Phil, thank you. Desi, thank you. Everybody who joined us, we really appreciate it. And that's it. I'm just gonna stop everything.